This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off the Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Treasure consultants are standing by. We'll take caller 9-844-999. Ola to play profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, a quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right. Is it okay to uninvite someone from your wedding?
Yes.
According to a new survey, 53% of people say it's okay if you have a good reason, 8% say it's fine even without a good reason, and only 24% say you shouldn't ever do it.
If someone says, look, I'd really prefer you not show up, and it's their wedding, don't show up.
Yeah, why is that even?
You don't want to be someplace where you're not wanted, especially by the people who are throwing the party.
That's precisely it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would get, you might get your feelings hurt, but it's understood. Look, it's their day. As boring as weddings are and as overrated as they are, it's still their day.
Something traumatic has to happen in the point in time from when you invited them to the point where you have to tell them no, and that could be a complete falling out, or I'm so sorry, it turns out my mother-in-law invited her best friend and, without telling us. And,
I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, out of the 200 people, you were guest number 199 and 200, you're out. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Get out of there.
A newspaper in Missouri issued an apology on Saturday after it made a typo in a county commissioner's political ad.
This is fantastic.
Instead of writing that his biggest assets are his people, they wrote his biggest asses are his people.
Totally different message.
Oh, dear.
I love how sorry. Our bad. Our bad.
Was that... Again, was this one of those where they meant to do it? Oops, sorry. Let's just retract
Our bad. We apologize for calling people that vote for you asses. That's great.
A man in Ontario, Canada, wanted to prove to his friends he wasn't too drunk to drive last week, so he drove to a police station to take a breathalyzer test.
And passed. No, he didn't.
He was 1.5 times the legal limit, so he was
passed.
arrested.
It's not like scoring 150% on a test, like extra credit.
I deserve a gold star, officer.
I mean, you're so drunk, we're going to put you in jail for longer.
Right? You were actually dumb enough to come to us.
That's the beautiful part of all of this.
I tested. A man in Washington State ran from the police, lost control of his car, and crashed into a house last Wednesday. When they asked why he didn't stop when they tried to pull him over, he said he couldn't because he really needed to poop.
To poop? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't run if you need to poop. Like, you physically can't. If you got to poop that bad,
oh man,
you can't break out into a sprint because you'll poop yourself.
Yes, you will.
Well, he didn't.
So he ran from the cops.
Well, no, he was in his car.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. But then he physically got out of his car and took off running.
Okay.
So if I had to poop that, I'd be like, dude, I can't believe you on this because you took off physically running on foot.
I'd also think if you have to poop that bad, once I slam into a house, then that is also the moment that I pooped.
I'm going to go knock on the door and go, look, I really got to poop.
I know I just crashed through your house. Can I please use your toilet?
Well,
Sorry.
I guarantee you it's not the first time that somebody's been pulled over and a cop has heard somebody say, man, I really need to go. You mind if we stop somewhere real fast? I'll take the ticket, but...
Right, just follow me to a gas station.
Right.
Please give me there.
I watched an episode of Cops where that very thing happened.
Are you serious?
Oh, absolutely.
So what, they pull him over, dude's like, I got to poop. And
Yeah, he was screaming down the road. He needed to use the bathroom.
sort of like hit his hazards and he's...
Yeah, and they went into a Taco Bell.
Cops.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Let's see. A salon inside a Walmart in Flint, Michigan said they couldn't do a woman's nails last week because she has cerebral palsy and shakes a little. So a Walmart employee who saw it happen skipped her break, helped her pick out the perfect shade, and she did her nails. Now a photo of it is going viral.
Yes. We're going to... It's amazing that we live in a world where being decent, being nice, doing the right thing is news.
Have you read everything else?
And I'm telling you right now, this is a wonderful thing, and I'm glad that people are getting credit for it, but think about that. It's that big of a deal now when someone is decent and nice to someone else that we think that it's news.
Miles, I said this about your Uber rating. All you have to do is sit in a car and not be an a-hole. It is fail-safe unless you go out of your way.
Well,
it's kind of the same. Like, people have an inability to be decent for longer than 2 minutes at a pop, right?
To play devil's advocate there,
You
Miles.
would. You unholy piece of filth.
Right. I would love for more good, feel-good stories to be shared everywhere. But like you said, that's not news, so all we get is the garbage. All we get is the idiots that run from police and need to poop.
Totally. Need to poop, yes. That clears it all up.
There's been a
running from police and pooping pants.
What's the world going to?
What's wrong with this country?
There's been a big increase in the number of people who are getting plastic surgery to look like Snapchat filters, according to doctors in Boston. It's called Snapchat dysmorphia. We actually gave it a name, Snapchat dysmorphia.
I just call it stupid. Like, why do you have to come up with a fancy name? I want to look like a Snapchat filter.
And people are getting cosmetic surgery for things like fuller lips, bigger eyes, or a thinner nose. Now, at least it's not something stupid like getting bread over your face.
At least it's, like bunny ears or like the birds flying out of the back of your head.
I want to look like a rabbit.
There's all kinds of Snapchat filters that, maybe it would be worse.
Right. No, these are the true filters that just, curve the edges a little bit, make everything
Trust
look
me, Mike, I know when no filter's needed.
Then what happens if you put the filter on someone who looks like a filter? Do they look better? Do they look worse? Does it stay exactly the same?
No one puts lots of filter needed on their picture. You're like, oh no, like I look like ass, but look what I did.
What happened to the love yourself mentality that we were sharing around?
That's always been a lie and a joke, Mike.
You know that.
Destroying
ourselves.
It's like when you tell a kid you can be anything you want. In the back of your head, like, this dumb mother effer has no chance.
You can now.
Well, yeah.
I mean, based on what that was all about then.
That's true.
What apps do you hate, but you just can't quit?
None.
Well, they're the most popular apps. So I would say Facebook is probably number one. I don't have it as an app, but that would be just based on the amount of time people look at it. So let's go to the popular ones. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I don't know, maybe Yelp.
Miles, you absolutely hit it on the nail. There's a discussion going on right now online, and the biggest ones seem to be the social networks, especially Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We've talked about it over and over on this show. There's just too much garbage on social media these days.
Well, I mean, it's how people communicate. So, I mean, there's not much you can do. If this is how we choose to communicate, then there it is. And with that, because there's so much anonymity, and you can be the biggest candy ass in the world and be as inflammatory as you want.
Well, absolutely.
Because you're not physically within having any contact with them. But, I mean, look, people always say, I wish I had ESP, right? Social media, to me, is kind of that. You learn more about people's thoughts than you'd like to. Mm-hmm. But it has definitely reminded me, ESP wouldn't be worth it. Would not be worth it.
I think you would just hate everybody.
I think you would, man.
You would lose so much respect for the world. A group in Germany was trying to break a domino world record on Friday. A domino world record. Then a fly knocked over one of the dominoes and ruined the whole thing.
No way. A fly.
A fly.
Oh, my God.
You ever been walking down the sidewalk and a fly just crashes into your face?
How did they determine? I guess they have, oh, man.
Don't land.
Wow.
All of a sudden they're setting the thing up and it just goes. Then you look up and you look for the mother effer that just tipped one of those over.
They have, I thought they had a foolproof way of like a blocking, like it can only go back so far on some of those. If you could just, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's going to make everybody who tries to do this so neurotic.
Oh, my God.
Even more so. You're already neurotic trying to set up that entire thing, but now it's going to look for flies, cockroaches, beetles, anything. A clothing brand is selling something called double back jeans, which basically looks like two pairs of jeans that got cut apart and sewn back together into one pair of jeans.
I like to buy clothes that make me look broke.
Right.
I'm going to buy a pair that has, pre-made S stains in the crotch.
They even, don't you remember, doesn't feel like that too long ago, pre-dirty jeans.
Yeah. They tried to, I don't know how well those sold, but yeah, it looked like you had just been in the mud. I'm like, where is that a good look?
The only one that seems to have kept the traction is the tear.
Yeah.
The knees and the thighs that are all roughed up, but that's about it.
But it's one thing to say, I love these jeans and they're old, as opposed to I love these jeans and they're dirty. They smell like fecal matter.
A 27-year-old man in Hawaii was arrested last Tuesday for attacking his neighbor's 5-year-old because the kid, quote, looked at him funny.
Come on, man. Kids look at everyone funny because their faces are goofy looking. I mean, there's not, you know what I mean?
That's that one friend that you don't tell anybody that you're friends with. Blue Diamond is recalling a bunch of almond milk because something nasty might have gotten into it.
What's that?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Skylar. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
All right, Skylar, you understand how this here game is played?
Of course.
Fantastic. Here's your story. Let's go to Brooklyn, New York, where a nail salon owner and a customer, they've both been arrested and charged for their involvement in what they're calling an intense nail salon fight. That's right. This fight broke out last week on a Friday night around 9:30 at the New Red Apple Nails. One witness who posted the video on her Facebook said the fight was sparked by a bad eyebrow job. She says, quote, "So I'm at the nail salon and they effed up a lady's eyebrow and then she refused to pay them and then a fight broke out." Now in the video, you can see an employee with a blue broomstick striking a woman until she leaves the store. Then other employees grab objects from around the store to seemingly defend themselves while a few other customers yell back and forth with them. So one bad eyebrow job, all right? She's like, "Hey man, I'm not paying for this." And this fight is going down. Now, a nail worker there, a 32-year-old, she was charged with assault, menacing, harassment, and weapons possession for the incident. A customer told police that the nail salon owner repeatedly hit her in the back with the broom, causing her to suffer, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that woman who complained about it, yeah, she was also arrested and charged with assault, menacing, and harassment. A nail salon worker claims that woman punched and slapped her in the face, dragged her on the floor, and suffered several lacerations to the face, etc., etc. A big melee broke out. And I will say in this case, if you can think of an ethnicity, it was involved in this fight. So in this case, I'm going to ask, what ethnicity do you believe the owner of the nail salon was? The New Red Apple Nails. This is the one who actually did assault the customer. Black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
Well, saying that she owns the nail salon really makes me think that she's Asian. But where it's at, I'm leaning towards black.
No way.
So,
No way.
What do you think?
No way. Because it's not that there were a lot of nail salons in Baltimore that were owned by black women. But a black woman would never grab an object to beat someone's ass because she's got, law and order on both of her arms. She doesn't need to grab anything. She doesn't need to beat anybody. If you mess with a black woman, she will physically kick your ass with her bare hands. She doesn't need to grab anything. There's no way a weapon would need to be involved. So, of a broom of any kind. Absolutely Asian. I mean, if those are your two options that you're going with, I'd just cancel out her being black. What's the final answer?
Final answer is going to have to be Asian. I totally agree with that.
All right, we're going to find out if she was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, for Profile this, we head to Brooklyn and a fight in a nail salon.
Yeah.
Fight about a bad eyebrow job. And just so you know, if you're not in the know, thin eyebrows are very much in.
Apparently it's cultural appropriation. Everything's cultural appropriation now. I just read this one over the weekend.
I thought it was because of Rihanna.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, all right. Okay.
They were like, "Hey, man," I don't remember who was saying it was, but whoever. Latin world. The Latin world. Thin eyebrows are a thing of the Latin world.
So there was a fight in the nail salon, and the owner and a couple other people got into it, along with this woman who felt like she got a bad eyebrow job. Either way, the question was the owner in the situation black, white, Mexican, or Asian?
And Miles, it turns out, man, as you went through how you scrutinize all of this, and I went to school with a woman named Betty White. Not the Betty White you know, obviously. It was a black chick. And you were 100% correct. I remember watching her hold a conversation with one of her girlfriends in homeroom. This is 11th grade. This guy was harassing her, sitting there, and he was just that guy, right? Smart ass. She continued the conversation, pulled out her earring, which said, any guesses?
No.
Betty, because that's her name. It's also ID in Baltimore. And she pulled out her earring, turned around, rolled up her sleeve, and punched this dude so hard his face broke open and he fell out of his seat. She turned back around and continued the conversation, put her earring in, rolled down the sleeve, like nothing had happened. Because that's how she rolls. Anyway, as it turns out, yes, the owner was in fact Asian.
Oh, yes. Okay. Now for TV News all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, Armageddon, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Mike Hawk in the house.
Well done.
Got it, sir.
Yeah, man, you nailed that one.
Yeah, man, I had I'm all good. I've been practicing. So the time that we have all been waiting for is finally here, gentlemen. The NFL Hall of Fame has come and passed.
Yes, it has.
They have honored probably one of the most motivational speakers of my generation.
We were talking about this earlier. Who would that be? Randy Moss?
Absolutely. No, that's
Ryan Urlacher?
Ray Lewis.
Okay, we were talking about this earlier in the office. I did not see any of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
I watched it.
But we were, we lived in Baltimore. You're a Ravens fan. I covered the team. Steve covered the team while we were there in different capacities. He did on the sports talk. I did reporting stuff up there. You got a chance to stand there with Ray Lewis, to talk with Ray Lewis, to interview him, to put a microphone in his face, to have off-camera conversations with him, all those different things. And there were all kinds of we could get into things.
Everybody knew.
We could get into things. Right
so
now.
Even back then, you knew.
Look, if he got up on stage and said and I'm going to tell you, if you're a glisten gladiator at the top of my stairs in a pair of tight underoos, God damn it!
Right. I mean,
you'd be surprised, but what Ray will come out of his mouth.
We didn't realize. So we're used to it. That's all we knew. When you cover them, we didn't realize that the rest of the world in America
was not privy,
not quite as privy to how he chooses to speak. But before you play anything from him, just one note if you didn't see it. Typically, when you go up to, thank everyone, man, you're in the Hall of Fame. That's a big deal no matter who you are.
Right.
And it doesn't matter your profession. If they're going to honor you, that's a big deal. Yeah. So you go up to a podium and you speak into a microphone. Mm-hmm. And I kept showing Ray Lewis, as they're going through everyone else, I kept seeing him on the side, and there was one noticeable detail that was different. And he had like that motivational speaker side microphone. But I kept thinking to myself,
maybe for the Monday Night Football era.
Why is that on?
Sunday Night Football.
So they made mention before he went up to speak that, as they said, they were being kind. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance Ray Lewis is going to walk the stage, and that's why. And immediately I thought, oh no! So he's
got a podium and everything.
He won't stop talking anyway. Not without like a blow dart to the neck, but the fact that he can now walk around, I'm like, you're giving him more energy. You're getting the Mogwai wet after midnight, man.
So, Robin, if you could, we've had a couple drops in here of Ray Lewis just saying crazy stuff all the time. We shorten it down. We play him every once in a while. So here's some Ray Lewis we've been playing for years. Here's a couple of little snippets of him. We got
time to take off the leash.
Time to take off the leash. What else we got?
There was a point that you got to when you came out of your mother's womb that the cord had to be cut.
And that's his way of saying happy birthday.
Yeah, exactly right.
He's not even in a bad mood.
So we've been on this for a number of years, and he would scare the living hell out of you when he'd look at you when you talk to him.
Snap a picture of yourself.
I mean,
all you had to do was follow his Instagram.
And he might be like, and he looked like he was going to kill me. Like, I really like you, Miles.
And water's been disturbed.
Or whatever the deal was, because I like you because you ask smart questions, but he'd go off. And then sometimes you'd say,
I like gravy on my biscuits.
Yes, exactly. But you wouldn't even know how to answer. And Joe Flacco has made notice of no one understood what Ray was saying. It didn't make any sense.
He honestly said that. He said, look, man, I believe he's a great motivational guy. But he said 9 times out of 10 before a game, and Ray's doing his thing, said I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about.
You kind of have to take in the emotion of Ray Lewis as opposed
the emotion,
to the words.
not the words. You're 100% correct.
So when we see all these headlines today, we're like, it's nice to see that everyone else is getting more of a national.
Starting to realize.
And because we want you to understand one thing, just one thing, and that is because we did work with the team and all that for years. The way he sounds at any given time, you've heard, is how he sounds 100% of the time. So when you interviewed him, man, it was intense and you were terrified.
Do we get him to do play-by-play?
Walking into the cafeteria. Where the sprinkles at?
Hey, that was different. I didn't realize. All right, this is true. They have a little press room. When you're coming to the team during training camp.
It's not a press room. It's where the team eats.
It's a giant cafeteria, but all the press kind of sits together, right? And the team's doing their thing. It's understood. They recognize you, whatever. But you don't really mingle much in these rooms. And one of the things they have is a soft serve ice cream thing, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a pretty decent dinner. And I'm like, cool, man. They have soft serve. I'm going to go get soft serve. And there were a few sprinkles left. So I took what was left and I put them on top of my cone, right? And now I go back and sit down at my table. So Ray shows up a little later. And he rolls in, and he has command of the team, dude. Who the hell ate all the sprinkles? Man. But I know he's pissed. And I'm like, oh, my God. And
everyone wolfed down the sprinkles?
Dude, it was gone. I mean, I took the ice cream headache, everything, because everyone at my table's looking at me. A couple of the players knew, and they weren't going to say anything, man. I crushed it, Ray. So, on a side note, what I learned that day is, in spite of how tough the man may or may not be, He loves the sprinkles.
Yes, you do.
Do not eat the last of
So
the sprinkles.
we've been waiting for this moment for quite a while, knowing that Ray was going to get up, and I'm happy to say he did not disappoint.
Listen to me. No matter the journey, it's too many ups and downs. But boy, when you believe in 5-15-75, remember 5 and remember 7, because they're going to have a recurring attitude in my message. 5-15-75, my mother had me, ironically, when she was 15 years old. 5-15-75, right? I played 17 years. I go to the University of Miami, right? And I get signed one of the last scholarships ever given. Right? I didn't even have a scholarship. I wasn't even in the media guide. And the coach asked me, Randy Shannon asked me, what was the number you wanted? He said, the last numbers we got is these numbers. And I looked and those numbers was 5 and 2. And I said, give me that 52. He said, why you like 52? I said, because B-Dog, that's God's number. That's completion. I played 17 years. I leave 17 years. I go play in Super Bowl 47. I get inducted to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Super Bowl 52. Man, God's something else. Man, God's something else. God's something else.
When did 17 get in there?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think God's like, yo, man, that's what you took from me. I created the earth and the ocean. I created all this stuff, and what you got was
the number 52.
52.
Not only that, there was somebody.
Even in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's goddamn 47 or 48.
There was somebody at Canton, Ohio.
42.
I think
Son of a bitch.
Right. Who had to say, hey, look, when Ray's running long, you got to get him off the stage. You got to figure out how to make him stop.
But how do you get that massive human being off the stage?
Had to be somebody. Somebody had that job, and that person was terrified.
Yes,
they were terrified. They were scared to death. The last thing they want to do,
shine the flashlight at him. Let him know he's got a minute. They had bets. They had offline bets on how long the speech would be. Most people predicted it to be over 45 minutes. He didn't quite go that long.
It was 33.
But it was still the longest
they
speech.
They still had a line, I think, in Vegas or someplace.
Yeah.
It's like how long he was going to take.
I don't know if you saw the whole thing. One of the remember Tom Brady? I think it was about a year ago. There's a picture of him, and he's kissing his own son on the mouth. He has a little kid, right? And everyone's like, oh, my God, he kisses him on the mouth. So I want you to keep this in mind. Ray Lewis is up there, being Ray Lewis, right? Does he yelling? Because I'm crazy. I don't know if y'all can tell. For 17 years, I was a goddamn lunatic, and I still am. All right. So his family is sitting out in the audience, including his children.
Funny you mentioned
most of the Ravens teammates.
Are you going to play that?
We do actually have that audio.
Because I told you the greatest thing I can give you as a father is the truth.
Talking to his kids.
That's all Daddy can give you. I can buy you many things. But the reason I'm with you right now and every one of my kids is because of the truth. That what I didn't have, the touches and the hugs and the kisses that I give you, I never had that. I never had a father physically touch me and tell me he loved me. That's why I hug you guys so much. That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth. Yeah, I kiss all my kids in the mouth.
Right there.
Don't hate. Then they pan to the kids and all shaking their head like, Dad, God damn it, what are you doing?
Did you see the looks on their faces?
It's like, I'm 19. I got a girlfriend. Shut up.
He made that statement, man. And, NFL's just doing what they do. So if you're talking to your family, it's an emotional moment, right? And they keep going back to his kids, and they're getting a little teary-eyed because here's Dad saying, I love you. Then he's like, that's right. I kiss him on the mouth. Their expressions look so different when the camera went back. Like, why are you sharing this information, dude?
I came all the way up here from Florida.
But this is the only time that he's embarrassed him on a microphone.
Oh, my goodness.
I kiss my kids on the mouth.
Not in front of, the world.
Give me that mouth.
I don't think they've been seen that much other or something like that.
He was never directed at him, but still.
Kiss you in the mouth.
One thing I did find about Ray Lewis, and I actually did kind of notice this after the Ravens won the Super Bowl and he did make the speech. Somebody gave him the microphone. He did the same thing at his Hall of Fame induction, and I found out that really all you need to do to rile up a crowd is say the same thing over and over and over again.
Baltimore. 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 Baltimore.
His CD stuck, y'all.
Baltimore. Ready? Go.
Hey, he did say this, though.
That's like having sex with someone named Baltimore.
He said this.
Yeah, Baltimore. Give it to Baltimore. Baltimore.
I didn't quite get that part. Was he just addressing the city, or was he cheering?
Ray also claimed that when he played there, the crime was down in Baltimore. And all truth be told on how statistically things work, when your NFL football team is doing well, and the city is unified as a whole, whether it's in Philadelphia, whether it's in Baltimore, whether it's in Boston, the city comes together and there's less crime. So he's like, when I played, there was less crime. Technically, he's right in the last year that he played, in the first couple of years that he played, but in between those 17 years,
the two are not correlative.
Not real good in Baltimore City.
It used to be 380 motors a year when I played 320. Like, you realize that city is off the chart violent, right? Like, that's...
So, if you would like to see the entirety of that spectacular interview, or that speech, rather, that is up on the Men's Room Facebook
I don't know
page.
what you call it.
Yeah. I got a feeling that we're going to be hearing.
But that was it was cool to see the clips. It was cool to see those guys because they're the guys in our lifetime. We've watched these guys play.
Yeah,
you know what that means? We're getting old,
right? Before it was like they bring these guys up there like Dick Butkus. Right? I never saw them play. Like, I know they're supposed to be there, but I just don't. I don't know who these guys are. And so now it's like it seems like these guys. Just time goes by fast.
You get to be excited about the highlight reels
that old and. You feel like anyone. Hell, goddamn T.O. got a tryout with the Canadian Football League the next day.
Nice.
And the more that I read about T.O.
Congratulations.
and the fact that T.O. didn't show up, the more I went like, oh, I see why T.O. didn't go. And this actually makes sense to me.
Why didn't he go?
He didn't go because of the way that you get into the Hall of Fame is based on the sports writers and how they do things.
Sure.
And everything that he had stacked up to the fact that he should have been a first-time Hall of Famer without question. Without question. Mm-hmm. They wanted to make but all these criteria, he passed. Sure. He made it through all the filters. The only one that he had to get through was the journalist not having a bone to pick with him because he was, quote, in their mind, like a difficult interview or a cancer in the locker room. None of that fits the criteria to get into the Hall of Fame, but they wanted to make a point of saying like, well, we have the vote, and if you're not our guy, and you're not, and they don't have really, they have more to do with it than they should, based on the criteria of why you should be there in the first place.
Well, they do, because look, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
he's not.
Yeah, but
same reason, man.
Well, he bet on baseball.
He did, but that's not what it was about. What he did in his career, he should be, but we don't like you.
Right. That's exactly.
And look, if human emotion is involved, then chances are it's not going to be a fair shake.
And that's basically why T.O. didn't get it, because they just didn't like it. Which, you know what I mean? If you're T.O., you're like, dude. I mean, I understand that much of it. I would have shown up, but.
Yes.
Switching gears here a little bit, we actually have recently wrapped up Shark Week. I believe one of the most misunderstood animals, because every animal death is compared to the amount of sharks that kill people.
Right, no matter what.
No matter what it is, any weird death is compared to sharks. John Oliver recently played a clip here not too long ago where Brian Kilmeade of Fox and Friends, he kind of has this obsession with sharks. And
he's been on sharks forever.
Man, he's got some sort of a phobia of sharks going on here.
A great white shark could be coming to your beach. Where that shark's heading, and does he have your name on his mind? Surfers are getting eaten by sharks.
Yeah.
Who else attacking kayakers? Wait, who's getting eaten They almost got eaten by sharks. Why are you not intimidated by sharks? Why are all the big creatures coming so close to shore? Doesn't it feel like there's way too many sharks? Why are the sharks so angry?
I was down in Palm Beach last week. I saw them. Were you attacked?
I was always told that sharks don't like the taste of humans. If you're ever attacked by a shark, punch him in the nose. You're supposed to punch him in the nose.
A spinner shark jumped out about 20 feet from me, just kind of at me.
There's such thing as a spinner shark?
Yeah. Jumps out of the water and kind of does a spin.
We should stay out of the water as human beings until the ocean starts calming down. One word. Pool. Go in a pool and stay away from the beach.
Some of the most entertaining stuff I've heard on that network, to be honest with you. Because it's not about crabs. It's actually just talking about something we all go like, I have an opinion about sharks.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody being quite so afraid of sharks.
Like, okay, man.
You got to remember, all these guys vacation on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, all the Republicans. So there's sharks there. There's a ton of them.
Spinner sharks as
I know, that's my favorite kind.
Spinner shark.
Oh, the spinner shark, yeah. We had a good time.
The tiny little ones.
They only bite a little.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
They only nibble your
I
ear.
do. All right, there you go. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. All right, so Mike's going to stick around because he's got headlines to do. We've got those coming up for you in just a few minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Oklahoma man has sex with a pony in a field with people rooting him on. Meanwhile, nursing home residents are living after midnight and rocking until the dawn. Canadian man with gold bars in his butt gets small win in court Americans now buy thousands of chicken diapers of the baby sort, and almond milk has cow nipple juice in it. It's time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
Our top story. Due to a failure in the production process, 72,000 gallons of almond milk from Blue Diamond have been recalled for a potentially compromised product. Somehow, real cow's milk may have gotten into a batch of Almond Breeze vanilla almond milk.
Dear God, there might be milk in a product called milk.
Yes. Due to the fact that most of its customers buying the products are trying to avoid consuming cow's milk, they put a recall out on the product.
Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant. I've been drinking this milk for 10 years and never had a problem with it until I found out it has milk in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be the way. It would be like a complete placebo. Like, oh, my stomach hurts just this morning. I've been drinking this for years.
Now that I know
what's in it, maybe it's psychological.
It was just the one batch, Mount.
I know, but I'm saying, like, yeah. I mean, trust me on how people work.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. In other news, it's no surprise that the citizens of this country are notorious for buying things that they simply do not need. And the latest evidence of that fact is the newest craze for pet chickens. Chicken diapers.
Come on, man.
The new craze is targeted at people that have pet chickens that they let into their home, which allows them to do so without getting a mess all over their house. Plus, it's great for people on Instagram who want to post pictures of their diapered chickens.
Chicken diapers.
Chicken diapers.
Yeah,
and they look ridiculous.
Well, of course they do, because they're diapers on chickens. The one thing I can appreciate about it, though, like, look, come up with any product you want. The fools that buy it are the people, right? So I'm glad that someone said, you know what, man, on hard times, let's come up with chicken diapers.
It just, isn't that what a domesticated animal is? You think about your domesticated animals, you got cats and dogs are the big main ones. Cats know where they're supposed to go. Dogs, after a little bit of training, know where they're supposed to go. Everything else is kept in a pen. It is kept in a cage. It is kept in a glass case because it can't live in your home without it being in a different environment. And I would count chickens in there. You may love your chicken. Your chicken may have emotions, and it may, show that it loves you, and it might be cute and cuddly and all that fun stuff. It still craps all over the damn place, and you can't change that.
Your
Keep
chicken
it in a
does
cage.
not love you. The only thing that should be in your house in diapers is your old-ass parents and your young-ass kids.
You ever seen the video of the kid that hugged the chicken and the chicken hugged the kid?
No.
It's a nice video. Chickens do have feelings. It
they're
extended out its neck, and he cuddled the kid.
That kid was touching to go, ooh, you're tender.
I'm having chicken tonight.
In Oklahoma, police were called...
Diaper-free chicken.
Yes, Diaper-free chicken.
Free range and peeing free.
In Oklahoma, police were called about a man standing naked in a field. They arrived on the scene to find a man indeed naked in a field having sex with a horse. With an audience. The man was arrested and is being charged with indecent exposure and committing a crime against nature. I'm just glad that it was not in my hometown.
I know.
Let's take this crap to Oklahoma.
Bunch of bronies watching.
Dare to dream, man. That could have been my little pony.
That's right. They're going to cancel the festival in Baltimore. We're going to do it out here in the field.
I'm fighting for you, Enumclaw. That's not us anymore. I know the real you. Probably one of the biggest stories of the week so far in Germany. Employees at a local nursing home sounded the alarm after two of their residents were found missing. After a lengthy search, they found the two rocking out at the 4-day metal festival going on nearby. We did talk about this earlier today. Police found the men dazed and disoriented, but they didn't want to leave, but they were returned to the home.
No offense. I bet you they said 75,000 people were there.
Yeah.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning when they found them.
Okay.
95% of those people were also dazed and confused about a metal festival.
Absolutely.
That might have nothing to do with it.
Do you think that they wanted to go, or do you think they just wandered their way out and ended up there and didn't care that they were there?
Probably the latter, but I think when they got there, they're old. One thing, the older you get, the more you appreciate people younger than you being happy about something kind of being unified, right? So I think they probably got there. The music was not as loud to them as it was to everyone else. So the hell with these guys driving. And when they got there, everyone there treated them like gold.
I don't know what he's saying. Neither do we.
Doesn't matter.
It's another edition of Man vs. Beast.
Uh-oh.
A Maryland woman vacationing in Waikiki did not have the relaxing vacation that she was hoping for.
I'm going to go get in the ocean for a little while on this raft if you guys need me.
She was floating in about 5 feet of water at a nearby beach when she felt something latch onto her, which, quote, hurt like hell.
Oh, no.
When she lifted her...
Oh, no. Oh, man. Yeah, that hurt.
You think it's that bad?
Oh, yes.
Really, Jimmy is the only thing that I've ever heard.
That's all you need.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I went there. It was a long flight. Hawaii's a lot farther than you think it is. I get in the water, Ow! No!
When she lifted her foot out of the water, she said that there was blood everywhere. The lifeguard.
no! I'm gonna go to the hospital. I ain't going to no hospital, Hawaiian hospital.
The lifeguard took a look at her injuries.
Probably like the Dole Pineapple Hospital. Dole.
The pineapple.
I ain't going to no pineapple hospital.
The lifeguard took a look at her injuries and concluded that she was most likely bitten by a moray eel. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thanks, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. For the Drunk in Charge, Ryan Castle in the Sit and Spin, the return of the word. We'll do a little profile of this and drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this guy. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.